Thank you very much, Madam Chairman. Before he leaves, I just want to commend Senator Daines for mentioning this question of wildfire, because, of course, you can't enjoy your treasures if you have infernos going on in the neighborhood. So I appreciate your saying that, and I think colleagues know the 11 Western senators said before we left for the August break that priority one for the West this September was to fix this broken system of fighting fire. And there are a number of pieces to the puzzle, but certainly it starts with ending the fire borrowing. And I commend my colleagues, Senator Gardner, Senator Murkowski. All 11 Western senators said we were going to get this done this fall, because this has been the longest running battle since the Trojan War. So I appreciate my colleague mentioning that. On this question that we talk about today, I think it's also worth noting that as we go in to the end of the fiscal year budget debate during this counterproductive government shutdown, what was learned indisputably is how much the American people revere their treasures. They looked at the closure of government and said, maybe this agency, that agency, we'll see. But what they cared about the most were the special places, and whether it was the Western, treasures, the ones in the East, sent a very powerful, message. And I think this is not by accident. I mean, recreation is a major economic engine for the country. Industry people say it approximates close to $650 billion worth of spending. And it's not hard to see where the numbers, come from. Mention was just made of guides and people using equipment and getting in the car and hotels and restaurants, and it's a big economic multiplier. I saw that this summer. Senator Cantwell made mention of the fact of the tour I made of Oregon's Seven Wonders. And we started with Crater Lake and a number of our treasures, and I was struck again and again that the accounts, because every time we went to a treasure, we'd have a meeting with the recreation leaders the day before or hours before. And I want to ask you, Ms. Wagner, about an account I heard from the outfitters, because they said they were facing hardships at the beginning of the season when they have to purchase all of their permits up front when they haven't made any money from the trips. And then if the season wasn't particularly good, certainly in the West we saw drought this year, rivers running low, forest fires close areas, the guides get stuck with permits they've paid for but can't use. So I'd be interested in your thoughts, Ms. Wagner, your thoughts, Ms. O'Dell, because, look, it's quite obvious that at your agencies, you don't get up in the morning and say, let's spend our day being rotten to guides and, outfitters. We get that. But clearly, as our colleague mentioned, a lot of what has happened in the development of this staggering recreation, engine, the rules and the procedures haven't kept up with the times. So for you, Ms. Wagner, and you, Ms. O'Dell, what can you do to help these outfitters, these guides, for a permitting system that actually works here on planet Earth? I know that, we've got all these scenarios and discussion from agencies, but what can you do to try to address those two kinds of concerns? Because I think those are really representative of what I heard as I made my way in 7 days through the seven wonders. Ms. Wagner.
Senator Wyden, I am glad that you got out to experience America's great outdoors, and thank you so much for your leadership on wildland fire management and your colleagues as well. So an exciting development is the Outdoor Industry Association has started a group called the Outdoor Access Working Group, and David is part of that, as well as a number of non-governmental organizations and industry players, as well as the federal agencies. And I think that is a group that can come together and really start collaborating on what are some ways to more successfully offer outfitted and guided experiences on public land. So I'm really looking forward to that.
My time is short. I know about the working group. I share your view. But exactly how would you, because you're hearing these for the first time, I assume, how would you go about trying to address the examples I gave?
For the required purchase of,
Yeah, I mean.
permits
the
up front.
The first is they gotta buy them up front, they hadn't made any money, and then if they have problems, they're stuck with permits they paid for but can't use.
And
So what would
Senator-
you do about that?
Senator, I'm going to have to get back with you on that because I'm not familiar with that requirement to purchase upfront. But I will look into that and get back with you and would offer ideas and suggestions for improving that after that staff
When could I have the answers to that?
quickly.
Like within a week?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair.